Oh. Bless you. Bless you? Now bless you.
Tighten your gazoon there, pal.
Tighten your gazoon. Gazoon seems a little bit loose there, brother. You better wrap that double knot that thing. ESM Podcast. Very interesting. I don't know if this is even podcast material.
Okay.
Some guy thought I was actually homosexual, and I got I was close to being in a relationship with him. It was very awkward. It was one of the most awkward things I've ever had to deal with.
The first time you've been hit on by...
Oh, we're going. Hi, ESM Podcast.
Okay.
Well, now you have to.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so I've just been I've been hanging out with this guy for a bit now, and I play video games with him occasionally, and I don't know. I guess I would just put off some too friendly vibes, because he was putting off very obvious hints that he was kind of into me and that he thought I was homosexual as well. And it was the most awkward, I feel awful, honestly. Because now he's a cool guy, and now I just can't, I feel awkward every time I stand next to him. You know what I mean?
Is that your first experience being flirted with by a dude?
Yeah, absolutely. Have y'all ever had a similar experience to that?
I can't say I have.
Not that much.
Not that
Most
I've
of mine
noticed.
was
I felt flattered, honestly. I was like, whoa,
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
I mean, all mine, I've been hit on by guys, but it's all dude at a store, no one that I knew.
Yeah.
And I'm just I'll go along with it because I'm not gonna ever know that person. Oh, thanks, man, or whatever.
Yeah.
You too sexy.
Hey, BB.
You're in another world.
Yeah, my Walmart world.
If I lived in Walmart, yes.
But yeah, honestly, it was just a very awkward situation. I feel like our friendship has been damaged now.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's interesting. Kind of sucks how a friendship could be ruined. But I mean, it's an interesting.
It kind of puts you in the girl's shoes,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Getting hit on.
it's changed how I think about asking girls out. I get it.
Yeah.
I get more when people turn people down and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's understandable. And I wonder if they feel as much of an ass as I feel.
Probably.
Yeah. Dude, human emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
They made me feel. Yeah. I hate how it's taboo and stuff, though. I wish it was just people could be blunt and it wouldn't hurt people's feelings, but that's kind of how it is no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are afraid to say stuff because they don't want to ruin friendships,
Yeah.
which sucks, but is how it is.
Looking back on it, it was very obvious, and I was just freaking Mr. Oblivious the whole time. This dude was just putting up obvious hints, and I'm like, that's I'm not gonna say his name. That's Jerry for you.
If I may.
Yeah, of course.
What kind of hints?
Okay, so we were talking about, he plays Overwatch. We were talking about Overwatch once, and he was like, hey, who do you play? And I'm like, I play a lot of Moira. And he was like, so do I. And he was like, I feel like she's actually gay. And I'm like, yeah, I'd see that. He's like, I feel like I understand that, and people I know understand that are close to me. I'm like, yeah? And then the conversation ended.
What an interesting way.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Okay, yeah.
I guess. But yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked back and just thought of how many cues you've missed just in your life?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I feel.
Yeah.
There's this
Yeah.
one girl in elementary school that I actually could have gone somewhere with her, but I was just oblivious. Not okay.
Well, elementary school relationship.
You can't see my face, but I was very
concerned.
That was a
Concerned.
beautiful face.
when you said he could have gotten somewhere with an elementary
I
school.
said gone. But I've talked to her since then, and she's like, "Yeah, I was really into you, but you didn't seem into me." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yikes.
I was just oblivious."
Who was it? Was it somebody we know?
No.
Name
Oh, yeah, you went.
He was
Oh
dude,
yeah,
name
you
dropper.
were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he-
Even more name dropper.
Shelby.
We won't even Shelby.
Yeah.
Shelby. I know that name, I think. No, I don't.
It is a name, Tanner.
Oh, gosh.
More than one human share the same name.
Oh, gosh.
It's just one of those things where you're like, you look back and it haunts you for no reason.
Elementary school.
What kills me is in middle school, a girl asked me to prom and I freaking turned her down because I thought I was too cool.
Oh, Tanner!
I feel that is still like top 10 biggest regrets of my life. Just like being that bit of an asshole.
I think I've heard this story.
Have I told this? I've probably told this story at least once. I forgot her name.
I don't remember.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't remember this either.
Yeah. Yeah, but she was really sweet and like, yeah, I was just kind of an ass. I was like, I could do. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I was like, I'm a cool guy.
I'm a cool guy.
The real Tanner comes out.
I thought I was a Chad in middle school. Man. I was on a football team. I wasn't good, but I was like, I'm on the football team.
We had fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were on the football team.
Yeah.
We were Chads together.
It was a fun time.
I was on the football team for
Yeah, we were all 3 Chads.
For 1 year.
That
I was on the basketball team.
We're all Chads.
Were you?
I was, yeah, in middle school.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
were.
played basketball.
Yeah, I remember that. Somewhat.
Why
Say
do I
played
not
basketball.
remember
Yeah.
that?
Probably because you didn't play basketball.
No, I played basketball in middle school.
Did you?
Yeah.
I watched it.
That was the sport
I don't know.
I
We
played in middle
weren't.
school.
We weren't. I mean, I don't know. We were kind of friends in middle school.
You ever when Toby Thomas got punched in the face after a middle school loss?
I don't really.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate?
Oh yeah, Alec was on that team. So we weren't even good. This is the B team playing. Like we were just like chilling. Like we were just having.
football or basketball.
This is basketball.
Okay.
And me and Alec, we were like
Bench warmer.
yeah, bench warmers at B team, dude. We were the champions, so we were just kind of like chilling out. And then we lost, and we're like, well, that sucks. And then we go back, and Coach just punched him in the face in the locker room, and I'm like, well, that's a shame.
Yeah, we were just like,
That was Mazerel, right?
was it? I don't remember who
I
it
was
was.
about to say-
I just sort of distinctly remember Kobe getting punched in the face for no reason.
I really shouldn't.
That
be
I
saying
remember.
Nobody's gonna
Sounds-
see this, but I shouldn't be saying names.
I thought that you were saying like originally it was a guy from like
Oh,
a
no.
team or something.
No.
I don't know why, but
Okay.
I thought it just sounds like something because Kobe and Anthony would always get into fights.
Oh yeah.
So I always when you said that I thought I remembered it being Anthony because it sounds like something Anthony and Kobe would get into like a fist fight.
Yeah. Have y'all ever gotten into a fist fight?
I kicked a deaf kid off some bleachers.
You need some explanation, my good man.
I feel like this is like the
No, I don't
Oh my god. Okay.
it was Jared.
Let the man speak.
All right. Y'all know Jaren, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the story. Middle school, because you know. Middle school, right? We were sitting. Our entire grade was like sitting in the bleachers in the gym. For some reason, I can't remember what. Coach was like talking to us.
Usually
or
it's
whatever.
like when we sit in the gym, it's usually like the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we were just sitting there. We were waiting, so we were all just kind of talking, and I dropped my pencil in the bleachers, and I bent down to pick it up, and some kid put his hand on the back of my head while I was reaching down to pick up my pencil and slammed my face into the floor of the bleachers.
Oh.
So infuriated, I swing up in a rage and kick the first person I see, who happened to be a deaf kid.
Partially deaf.
Yeah,
And
partially.
the worst part is he wasn't even the one that actually did it. It was Nicholas Gonzalez,
That's
So-
classic Nicholas.
who was absolutely terrified after he saw me do this. And yeah, so Jaren like went down this bleachers. I think he ran into like 3 other people on the way down, but he wasn't like too injured or anything. And we actually, we laughed it off. We were like, okay, yeah, misunderstanding.
Hey,
sorry, pal. And he was like, yeah, no problem. It was,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
funny at the very least.
Jared is such a chill guy, man. He kicked
He really is. I mean, I kicked him off the bleachers and he was fine.
Lol.
He wasn't even the guy that did it. But yeah, I was kind of mad because, Nicholas, slammed my face in the bleachers. But, yeah, there's that story.
I got my
elaborate.
anger out by kicking a deaf kid.
That's good.
How about y'all? Any fist fights?
I mean,
I haven't thrown a deaf kid off bleachers, but
I don't think I've done anything like that.
It wasn't like off the back side, it was like down the steps. So like, it wasn't like I drop kicked him off a 30-foot drop into the ground.
I have a good, like, it wasn't a fist fight, but it was like a little altercation. It was like, yeah, it was second grade when I first moved to the school, or to the town that I would do the rest of my public schooling career in. And it was second grade. It was like one of the first days I was there, and it was the lunch line. And it was like, you know, moving to different schools, especially like elementary, middle school, is like when you first get put into prison.
Yeah.
And you gotta like assert your dominance.
Gotta be the alpha.
You gotta prove you're not
Sink or swim.
to be messed with.
Was this at the old elementary?
This was at the old elementary school.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't go to that one.
The crappy one. And so it was like the lunch line in that old cafeteria. And this was one of the first days. And I'm in line, and then there's a kid like behind me, and he tries cutting in front of me. So I like elbow him, and I'm like, I don't know anybody, so I'm like on edge. I'm like a wild animal. I'm like somebody trying to steal my spot.
Time bomb.
So I elbow him, and then like we have a little like fight or whatever. And then I think we both get sent to the principal's office, and like parents get called. I get a whatever card pulled, and that was like one of the first days. And I just remember I was like, and then my parents like defended me. They were like, "Yeah,
good job.
You gotta prove
assert
your
dominance.
tough stuff in elementary school or whatever." Yeah. And he was like an older kid too. He was like a 5th grader, and I was or he's like a 3rd grader, and I was a 2nd grader, or something like that.
That was
I was
me.
like, gotta prove myself.
You gotta prove yourself to be in the elementary fight club.
Exactly. That's my
I mean,
main fight story. I think I had one more, but not really.
I've kind of had like a half-ish one. It was during It was during basketball season.
Yeah.
And we were just practicing because we weren't actually like exercising or practicing for the day. So we were just having a fun like chill. We just get basketballs and we just shoot at the hoops. And my ball starts rolling away. Whenever baskets. But my ball starts rolling away. Colton Enlow already has a basketball, is dribbling it, picks mine up and starts dribbling both of them and starts going the opposite direction away from me. So I start kind of like chasing after him. Like, can I have it back? He wouldn't listen, so I tripped him.
Oh no.
Then he got up and this was during end of middle school. So I tripped him, and he got up and he started swinging at me.
Swinging.
And cussing me out.
This is a pretty strong bully, by the way. This boy's now in the Navy. He's not the Navy.
Okay, first of all, they were some of the weakest punches I probably ever felt. First of all, he had his arm up and he was punching up over his arm. Like a barricade, and he was firing over the barricade.
Classic Navy tactic.
That's the fire over the barricade.
The mortar tactic.
That's World War I.
No confrontation, just over the barricade.
That's how we won the war.
I didn't fight back, but it was just like his punches was very weak.
Defensive form.
I have the power of God and anime on my side.
Alright.
That's about it. Like,
Smitty, what's your fight story?
oh, I've got a few.
Tell me your favorite one.
Well, I have one that's kind of like what Will was talking about, where you first move somewhere and you have to kind of prove yourself. But all my stuff was on the football field when I moved in 8th grade.
The gritter.
You have to prove yourself to
the battlefield.
the Coach Frizzell that you're worth
Oh, God.
worth anything. And people see you as a threat the entire time, so they'll all be like, "Oh, you're trying too hard." I'm like, I'm trying just as hard as you guys, and so you just have to keep doing it. But there was a few people that would try to give me shit, and I just would cream them for fun.
Yeah.
Cream pie them, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No.
You really. So, like, continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
What were you gonna ask?
I actually had a funny story about Zelda. Please continue.
Oh. So yeah, I just keep going, but who was it? I think it was Bo. There was one time that he was...
Burnham?
What? He was shit talking to me or something, and he ended up getting the ball, and so I just laid him out.
Nice.
And then I think he tried to start fighting, and I didn't want to do that. Don't want to deal with that. But there's a lot of like stuff with football that was kind of iffy on fights when we play other teams, and people be like, "Oh, I'm calling you out." But my most like actually fist fights were when I was younger in Frisco. There was a kid in our neighborhood that we tried to do a neighborhood like fight club, I guess.
Nice.
He had 2 sets of boxing gloves, and he was he'd get all the neighborhood kids around and call people out.
Start his own arena.
Basically,
At them on Twitter.
Welcome to the arena of middle school.
I have won 5 cats of Sour Patch Kids for whoever wins.
I'll raise that to 20!
Yeah, and so we'd wrestle or box, and he'd get all cocky. He was this really like skinny, lanky kid too. That I don't know why he thought he was so strong and tough.
Like
But,
Danny?
I mean, he was taller than Danny, but he. There was one time.
Phantom?
Yeah.
Starts playing the theme song in the background.
He like got on my back or something, or he got some other kid to get me down, and he was on my back trying to make me eat the dirt, and so I got pissed off and like flipped him over, punched him a few times, and then made him eat dirt because I was not happy. So, can't disrespect me. That's
What
I
age
got.
were you?
Elementary
school? Middle school?
6th grade.
Okay, that's a reasonable fighting age.
Yeah.
Passions are hot.
And the gridiron is hotter. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
What's your
Okay,
Yeah, go on.
real quick one. So you really remind me about like new kids coming. So Fazell would love this when new people came. He would set up this octagon, and he would have like 2 people he would have this new person versus like one of our best players.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
He would have us all stand around, and I'd be like, "Yeah, this is my favorite part of the."
It's like a trial by
Holy
fire.
shit!
Okay,
Y'all can't
so-
see this, but the lights are just freaking out in here. Oh my god, I'm losing my
Continue.
mind. Okay, so it was like a whole show, and I'm like, this is my favorite part of the day, man. I just get to see 2 people like beat up each other. I never did it because it was like all volunteer, and I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
But okay, so basically,
Because usually it was against Carson.
yeah, person, yeah. So these 2 people go up, and this new kid just gets blown the heck out, and Fazell utters the line, "Welcome, Gunter," like really loud, and then follows it like quite like, "Welcome to Gunter." And I'm like, that would have been really good if you got it the first time.
Welcome, Gunter.
Welcome, Gunter! And he said like in his face. I'm like, what? And they
Like a caveman.
yeah,
Just like under his breath, like, welcome to Gunter.
yeah. They like 5 seconds afterwards just stood up and to
That's
Gunter.
funny. Oh, welcome, Gunter.
When you edit your Discord posts.
That's funny.
Several people are typing.
That's it.
That's funny.
I can just imagine Coach Fazell just like, welcome to Gunner! to Gunner.
That was the moment I realized that my life wasn't a movie. I was like, I never let that through.
You never know. Some grade C movies out there.
Alright, so welcome to ESM Podcast episode 4.
Is it
Episode
5.
Same. God.
5, aka the Black Saturday Christmas episode of Thanksgiving post episode.
Holiday.
Welcome to Gunner.
We might have a real Christmas episode later, but
Ooh.
That's quite possible, yeah.
this is the post Thanksgiving episode.
Can the Christmas podcast just be a normal podcast, but with quietly like, you better watch out? better watch out.
We'll just we'll hire somebody to like not sing in the background, just whisper the words to Christmas songs.
Only 3, you better watch out. And he just repeats it the entire podcast.
Yeah.
Very menacingly.
Yeah, I know a few people we could hire.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Excellent.
I know a guy.
I know a guy who specializes in that kind of stuff.
The you better watch out guy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a hitman.
So,
Oh, jeez.
y'all been playing any...
That was indeed what one would classify as an awkward silence.
I wish it would have lasted like 10 seconds longer.
I didn't want to say anything.
Did y'all have y'all's Thanksgiving get-togethers
Yes.
already?
Yes.
Y'all have good ones?
It was fun.
Did y'all do anything interesting?
Nope.
Eat turkey?
Yep.
Shitty turkey.
Yeah?
Dude,
That sucks.
ham is better than turkey. I will not...
I will fight
think
you.
I agree with you on that.
No.
Turkey's the worst.
What?
You have to
Yes.
get a good turkey.
I agree. I like...
Turkey's dry
Well, it
and
depends on how you
You
cook
have
it.
to get-
only good in certain circumstances.
Injected turkey.
I feel like I'm obligated to eat turkey because it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But I always prefer ham.
Yeah.
Same.
I like
Yeah.
turkey.
I would eat
I
turkey
prefer
all
anything.
year long.
You know,
It's
turkey,
good turkey.
turkey's not bad. Just ham is just, ham's
Okay.
so good.
Okay, like turkey from Rudy's, like smoked turkey.
Smoked turkey is good.
stuff. Turkey, like baked turkey, like you eat on Thanksgiving, is the driest, most unpleasant thing to
You have
eat.
to
Yeah.
We fry ours, so it's not.
Fried turkey's good. Smoked turkey's good. Injected turkey's good, and that's how you keep it moist.
Mm-hmm.
Dank.
Because when you
Okay.
fry it, you're literally just dipping it in oil.
Yeah.
So
But I also just don't like ham. I don't know why.
yeah, same.
It's always cold.
Okay,
Yes.
so you guys aren't going to be invited to the next podcast.
Can go-
Filthy turkey eaters.
Yeah, cross you off the
It's
list.
only us 3 Nets podcast, no explanation.
We lost them.
Explanation.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving side that you don't get to eat a lot except on Thanksgiving?
I get to eat all the. I don't like really Thanksgiving
Really?
sides.
Really good mashed potatoes.
Really, really good mashed potatoes. My grandma makes some killer cream corn.
That's a good
Ooh.
one.
Yes.
What about you, Will?
I'm gonna say like the sweet potato thing where you have it like covered in marshmallows and
Casserole?
Mm.
stuff. Yeah, that's mine.
Okay.
That's mine.
This isn't a side, but I feel like this is the only culturally appropriate time to eat pumpkin pie.
Yeah,
And
Okay.
so yeah, pumpkin pie.
I prefer pecan pie over pumpkin pie.
That's
I've
fair.
never been a fan of
You have a wrong
pie.
opinion, but I agree.
I don't-
I respect it.
I don't like pie either.
I like the
There's one kind of pie that I like, and it's the only time that I'll eat pie is at Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
because my grandma makes a peanut butter deliciousness pie that I don't even know what all is inside of it, but it's basically Reese's,
You don't want
Yeah.
to know.
so that's why I like it.
you,
don't wanna know.
you probably don't
Love.
want
This is
to.
the secret ingredient.
Probably
Oh,
cockroaches.
Oh god.
Loaf.
Now I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah, that's
Damn it.
fantastic.
All the sides that we usually have are most of the time. I don't really like stuffing or anything like that. I just don't. Or green beans or anything like that. So everything we usually have is just normal things we eat.
What the heck?
You don't like stuffing things?
I'm not sure how to answer that.
I was really seeing how long we'd go with that.
I want to make this a running theme on the podcast.
Awkward
Where we have
times.
like 5 minutes. of
Yes,
this.
You
exactly.
should chop out it, cut it.
Yeah,
and
just make it
play
even
time.
longer.
A podcast of only an awkward scene and 5 minutes of
Very
silence.
Like,
quality
usually-
content. here.
Usually when you edit a podcast, you're like supposed to take out some of those silences. No, we elongate.
Here,
Just adds like a
Contrarians.
elevator music in the between.
here at ESM, we're all about that.
ESM.
That deep thought, silent podcast style.
You see, if we make
We
it,
leave.
you see, if we make it such low quality, right? Eventually it'll loop around and it'll be high quality, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it can be art.
Yeah, you could consider it abstract,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
We leave room for like
Improvement? Oh, fun.
God damn it, Aaron. You messed it up.
We could have just long breaks where people are supposed to like meditate.
Yeah.
You just have silence in a room sound, and people will listen to it and be like,
And follow.
We'll call them laugh breaks, so people can take
Oh, yeah, laugh break.
Yeah.
So
we'll
they
put
just
in the
call it,
canned
yeah.
laughter.
Yeah. Give them time.
It only laughs out because you won't be laughing at our jokes.
Get
We'll
that
call it time for them to go look up a good joke and laugh at it for a while.
before
And
going
then
back
come
to
back to
this.
the podcast.
Go watch something that's actually funny.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Alright, so we want to move on to news.
News.
Nudes.
Nudes.
News.
Alright.
The nude news.
What news we got?
Good question. Fuck. They did surgery on a grape.
They did surgery on a grape.
Yeah. Okay, so this is meme news. Investor
Meme
meme
news.
stock. Okay, so everybody. So recently, this is actually a few years ago, so not recently. They were testing out these surgery robots to perform surgery, and they did surgery on this grape. They peeled it open and sewed it back together. It's honestly kind of gross, but
Okay.
so they do that, and then randomly this Twitter account with a ton of followers brings it back, and just with the caption, "They did surgery on a grape," all lowercase, no explanation.
And now it's like a meme?
Yeah, now it's just a meme. Now there's literally
Yeah, because I remember that. I think I watched that on a YouTube video ages ago.
Here's a photo of nurse. You've been in a coma since 2012. Patient, did they finally do surgery on a grape? So that's the meme news. And
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man shoots woman to death at Florida Walmart.
Wow, that's fucking heavy.
Well, okay, yeah.
That's
Domestic. It was a domestic thing.
Okay, yeah. Go
And
on.
he shot her in the gardens department, and she ran to the store, yelled for help, and then died.
Wow.
That's just kind of sad.
Yep.
Yeah,
That can happen anywhere. Why is that?
Because it's Florida, though.
Okay, back to the grape thing. I have a quick example of how this is being memed. Okay, so there's this meme template where it's somebody's phone, and it's anxiety. What if you're not good enough? Like missed messages from different things, and it says anxiety. What if you're not good enough? Depression. Everyone hates you. And then the third one is badly edited, MS Paint text. Grape. Can you pick me up? I just got out of surgery.
Okay, nice.
I'm telling you, by the time this comes out, I'll probably be dead. But this is the hot meme right now.
I feel like memes' lifespans are just getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
Very true.
Rivaling that of houseflies.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, honestly. Remember, did you guys catch on to the "I'm already Tracer" joke?
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yep.
What is it? TikTok?
TikTok fueled it, but it started off originally. I don't know how it started originally. It was just kind of a weird.
What's
song.
the app that allows you to make a chorus with yourself?
TikTok?
Is it TikTok?
That's
Wasn't
TikTok.
There's
there?
another one that's like an
That was it.
acapella
It used to be,
Yeah.
It used to be Musically.
Musically.
But then
Yeah.
TikTok is Musically though. They
Oh,
bought it
okay.
out and changed it.
Oh,
Okay,
gotcha.
so okay, then never mind. It's the same thing then. Apparently.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Basically with more features.
But it-
From what I've done the TikTok knowledge from my 8-year-old brother. Hit me up with this. I was like, help me understand social media, and he was like, okay.
It's like, I got you, bro.
That's his little brother.
He laid it all out.
Let me help you out, Tanner.
Do you guys feel I feel like every 3 ads on YouTube is a TikTok ad.
Yeah.
Their marketing budget must just be insane.
And it's so annoying.
I'm
not pleb, so I have an ad blocker, so I don't see ads.
Oh,
on
I'm
YouTube.
talking do you never watch YouTube on your phone? Because that's where I see it. That's the only
Oh,
time I see ads.
I do sometimes, not too often. Most of it I do on
For
my
what?
desktop.
I have red, so I don't get ads.
I wasn't paying attention, but
Must be nice.
Way to flex on us.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Speaking of YouTube ads,
also has Rooster Teeth first.
Yeah.
Have you guys gotten that? Have you guys? Okay, I know you use ad block, but I got an ad the other day for this African comedy channel that are placed in. You know those really interesting movies that are made in Uganda, like.
Sure.
Have you guys not heard of these?
No.
Oh boy!
No.
Oh no! Okay.
What really interesting movies?
Like kind of like Bollywood.
Everything
movie
that I know
kind of
about
style?
Uganda is just memes and knuckles. So
Yeah, no. Okay, so you know
Are you talking about the guy?
you know the "Where are you running" joke? Why are you running?
yeah, okay.
That's from a Ugandan movie. They make movies.
That's from a movie. Really?
That's from
Yeah.
a movie.
Shit, okay.
These
Wait,
look-
what is Why Are You Running?
It's this lady getting out of the car and she starts like screaming and running away and he gets out. He's like, "Why are you running?" Am I
It's,
not a little
it's a
bit?
meme in. I see it a lot in video games. When like I mean it's a meme that people say like when like you're fighting somebody and somebody
Yeah.
starts running away, people go like, "Why are you running?" And they say
Why?
it like a Ugandan accent.
I
Why
think
are
I've
you
seen
running?
This, but I don't
Yeah.
remember it.
Yeah, but so basically, this is from Uganda. Makes a ton of very heavily edited, very weird, but oddly like very heartwarming movies because they're made with
Okay.
no budget, but they're also insane. Like
Right.
a little bit of a trailer to one of these sometimes.
Okay.
I feel like they're kind of like a another like version of Bollywood movies.
No, Bollywood's legit. Bollywood makes movies. These guys make. I mean, they have talents, but they just have like $12.
They have ideas,
Like,
but they don't have
just film it.
money.
Like,
okay.
are they only uploaded to YouTube?
No, they are sold. You can buy them on Amazon. They're literally look these up. This is a whole other world. So
One purchase
Interesting.
recoups their entire budget.
yeah. But basically, the whole point of this, I was really hoping y'all would get this, so I wouldn't have to explain it. So, so they've been putting ads on YouTube recently. These 20-minute long ads of their comedy skits. And these are some of the weirdest comedy skits I've ever seen before.
Okay.
They loop so hard on being like, it's like so unfunny that's unfunny, but then it becomes funny again, then it becomes unfunny again, only to loop back on itself. Their art, and I will...
They're just on like the next level.
It was
We just haven't caught up to
that was
them.
the
behind,
first.
yeah.
That was the first time I ever watched an ad for 20 minutes. I was so engrossed.
Wow. Dang.
Wow. We gotta get on their level. We gotta get this podcast.
We need to get
I
some
know, yeah.
ESM ads
No,
out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need to like.
First we need
we're already
Sponsored by JohnArrow.com.
we're already like that in that like there will be sections of this that are funny and most of it won't be. So like
Yeah.
so we just need to like weaponize it like they do.
Yeah,
But yeah.
exactly. But they fill the unfunny parts with literally insanity. So it fills in perfectly.
So all right.
You guys ever worship
Write that down.
Cthulhu? Like that kind of insanity?
Do
What?
No, I'm just talking about. There's always like they have something called a video joker. So do you guys know like a reaction channel?
Yeah.
Imagine if every movie had a reaction channel associated with it. That's how they do it in Uganda. So like literally this woman will say a line and the video joker will be like, "That's what your mom said, ho ho."
Oh
Like
God,
he just
I
makes
see.
he just makes
I
jokes.
understand
Like
everything now.
like the hype man kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like
Interesting.
during action scenes, and somebody like hit somebody, will be like, "Oh no!" or like it's just insane.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's okay. Once you get used to, I've watched one of these
I have to
movies.
watch one.
Yeah, we need to watch one of these
opinion.
sometimes. All right. So another subject, Smitty. Oh, sorry.
I think I have a story.
Okay.
I have a good-
You think?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
So
Therefore, you are.
yeah. So have I ever told you guys about the time that I went to Chicago?
No.
No.
Okay.
Sounds kind of familiar.
Did you die?
Did you get robbed?
We'll get there.
Oh no.
Shit.
So, step one, we got off the plane.
Step 2.
And then and then we checked in to the Trump Hotel.
Oh.
Okay.
Because okay,
Was that actually what it was called?
so I went
Yeah, he owns
I went-
like a bunch of stuff.
this was like in high school and my mom was working with this company and they had this like seminar thing that was hosted at Trump Hotel in Chicago or Trump Tower or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of neat. Like we went up to our like suite and like there's a little espresso machine and like you can make coffee there and there's a little mini bar. They have all these liquors and there's a window outside of that window, it's Chicago. You can see everything.
Was not expecting Illinois to be here.
Wow. When I look out the window, I just see
Why am I suddenly in Florida?
exactly what I expected, but higher. And so you could see all the buildings around, and that was pretty cool.
Okay.
And then my mom has to go do something, like has to go do work stuff, and I'm just chilling in the room. But then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go explore. So I go down, and I go down the elevator, and it's like this really nice elevator, and like the buttons are like plated with gold. That this has nothing to do with the story,
Okay.
but that was just a detail I remember.
Right.
And so I press the button and go down to the ground floor. I walk past, there's this guy, and he's like, "Did you just check in?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a second ago." And he's like, "Oh, here's a hat." He gives me this hat that says like Trump Tower on it, and I'm like,
Oh.
okay. And this was like, it was in the very early stages of the presidential election.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so it was like he's a person in the running, but like
Right.
everyone was still like,
It was much
there's
more,
no way he's like
Gotcha.
it's
He
basically
was
a joke.
the
Basically a joke.
meme.
it's much
Yeah.
more of a joke back then.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I just like held on to it. I didn't put it on or anything, but I was like, okay, cool.
Right.
I think I still have this. It's in like my closet or something. It doesn't say "Make America Great" on it, so
Darn it.
I don't
Okay.
think those hats existed yet. But then I walk out into the street, and I'm
Immediately get robbed.
nothing like that. But I was like, Kenneth actually, our friend Kenneth, told me about this tea place in
Chicago.
It's called David's Tea. So
Okay.
so I was like, I want to try this place. I want to go there. So like I Google Maps is it, and it's like a 15-minute walk, but like but not that bad. So like so I put it into my map and I start walking, and I'm like, you know, walking
Mm-hmm.
As you do.
as you
Yeah.
do, and then I get there.
Okay. Yeah. Go.
No way.
And then I go
next?
and then I go into the shop.
Mind blown.
And then I look at the teas they have, and then there's one that's like, it was like something about there was popcorn in the tea for some reason. I
Okay.
don't remember what
Like actual popcorn?
the flavor was, but like yeah, there was like actual like popped
Pieces of popcorn.
yeah, like
Yeah.
popped popcorn
What?
in this-
Okay.
in the
Kind of
tea.
Yeah, David's tea is. I love them because they always make these weird flavors.
Exotic.
Yeah, very exotic. So I was
Okay.
like, can I have like some of that? So they made it, and it was like hot.
Oh, is this like an actual like place where you could drink
Yeah, this
the
was
tea?
like they had a wall. It was like, have you ever been to Tivana?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, it was a store like owned by Starbucks, that sold tea. It was like the same kind of thing, but it was like they have a whole wall of tea, and like they're in these huge tins, and there's all these different flavors and stuff, and anyway, but they also make tea there.
Oh, okay.
So,
So,
it was that kind of.
it was like a coffee shop kind of thing.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I get the tea, and I can't remember if I got the one. I don't actually remember what flavor it was, but I think I might have gotten the one that had like popcorn in it.
Right.
I was just so intrigued. I mean, when I got it, you can taste popcorn in it. It was just like a weird thing to have in there for.
You know what they
some reason.
should have done? They should have
Interesting.
like put like little popcorn in the tea.
Yeah. So then, I'm drinking my tea. It's like a hot tea.
Uh huh.
But this was like summer, so it's like not but it's also Chicago, so I went outside and it was like not blisteringly hot. It was just kind of like normal, you know.
It was good weather.
It was good weather.
Windy City.
Windy City. It wasn't actually windy, but yeah. And so I'm walking back to the hotel now.
Okay.
And on the way back, there's like an alley in between two big buildings.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's like a guy sitting in the alley,
Okay.
and he has this little like money receptacle thing.
Okay.
Where, like, you can
Oh, I see.
go
what
by
you're
and,
saying.
give him money.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? Is that coffee? And I was like, no, it's tea. And he was like, I love tea. And I was like, oh, I don't have any money, but do you want this tea? And he was like, sure. So it's like, okay, here you go. And I made most of this story up. This is mostly not true.
What?
What? I was sitting here thinking, why the fuck are you telling us your entire life story? Get to the point already. And I was like, I started to suspect that it might have been a meme, but then I disregarded it. I was like, no, this has got to be going somewhere.
God damn it, Will.
So,
Wait.
so that was just pointless, everything.
There were hints of truth in there.
Okay.
Did you go to Chicago?
I really did go to Chicago.
Did you go-
I really did stay in the Trump Tower.
Okay.
Okay.
And you did get tea?
I did get tea.
Was it David's tea?
It was David's
Okay,
tea.
cool.
But you didn't
Just
give tea to a homeless man.
No.
Okay.
Just Alec was acting like David's tea was real, and I'm like, what the?
It is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was real. I didn't think that could
The
be
popcorn, was that real?
Yeah, there was actually one that had popcorn.
David's tea has some of
Okay.
the weirdest teas you could probably find.
There's a weird curved one.
So, what's the moral to that story, Will?
Well, basically,
Is that coffee?
we needed more insanity. He said we should
Okay,
have some more
okay,
insanity
I
in
see.
the podcast.
Yeah.
So that was insanity.
And insane people
Okay.
insane people just go on talking without having a point, really. So
Yeah,
I see.
said the blind man.
To his deaf daughter,
As you saw.
as he picked up his hammer
and
saw. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah. Well, story time.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping when I was going through that story, I took so long because I was kind of like hoping a punchline would
You
come
would
in.
get something.
like I would get to the homeless man and somehow a joke would come out of it.
Right, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No.
That's
You
the
were just
worst.
stalling to try and. I see.
I do that
Okay.
all the time. I'm like, this story isn't funny, but maybe if I start telling it, I can find something funny about it. And then you just get to the end and you're like, uh-oh.
I gotcha. Wow, okay.
Video games?
We can talk about video games.
Have y'all been playing video games?
Oh, you
I've been
know
playing
it.
video games, specifically one video game recently.
What
That
is
everyone
it?
hates.
Fallout 76.
West Virginia.
West
It's
Virginia.
not as bad as people
Country
say.
mama. Take me home.
Colorado.
Mountain Road. Yeah.
So how
Okay,
is it?
So, Fallout 76. 3 of us here have played this game.
I dropped my phone.
Come on, Tanner.
What have you seen of Fallout 76 on the interwebs, Tanner, and or Will?
Injury people.
Injury people.
Okay, I'm just curious. What have they been saying?
Injury things.
I've only watched like one thing, but they don't like how it's basically just Fallout 4 again. They
Okay.
It's understandable.
Fallout 76 is undoubtedly one of probably the most controversial games to release in quite a while.
Yeah.
I can't actually think of another game that people have been so split on.
Specifically Bethesda game.
But that's,
Yeah.
but that's because Bethesda's like, we need a multiplayer game. Or we want a multiplayer game.
The kids like Fallout.
So as soon as they make a multiplayer game, everyone loses their shit because it's not a typical Fallout game.
So, here's my opinion on Fallout 76. Personally, I really enjoy Fallout 76, but this is because the genre that it's in, a multiplayer survival game, is kind of like my thing. it's what I play a bunch of. And I've always enjoyed Fallout games, like the previous ones.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed Fallout 4. But I could never, like, really sink time into it, mostly because it was single player. So there's a little bit of perspective on where my opinion comes from. Fallout 76, I think, is a really fun game. There's a lot of people that hate on it, and some of them have valid points, but a lot of them are because a lot of people wanted them to be working on something more like Fallout 5 instead
or
of
Elder Scrolls, what is it, 6 or
yeah,
whatever?
Yeah.
a lot of people wanted something else.
Skyrim 2 is gonna be great.
But if you look at what the fuck, if you look at it from Bethesda's perspective, all people have ever wanted that is like Skyrim Online, Skyrim multiplayer. You know how many people want that? There's a lot of people that want that, as
Yeah.
far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And Bethesda needs a means to actually like understand how to make a multiplayer game, because all they've ever done is single player.
Yeah.
So I kind of see Fallout 76 as more of like
A test.
I still personally think it's a good game, but I think I almost think of it more of as like a donation, like a Patreon, like a Kickstarter,
Yeah.
essentially for Bethesda to foray into multiplayer games,
That's a good
which
way
I
to
think would be
look at
really
it.
cool. And in buying Fallout 76 and supporting Fallout 76, it tells Bethesda that they can do multiplayer games and that people want multiplayer in their games in the future. Like, imagine if Fallout 4 had not just a single player, but a co-op, 4-player co-op mode as well, where you could go through the story
Yeah.
and just play with like 3 friends.
Like a Borderlands, but in the Fallout universe.
Exactly. Imagine how cool that would be. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have the same thought as him. It's like, what company hasn't started from a single player game and branched out to a multiplayer game? But this is Bethesda's first multiplayer game, so they have no idea how to make a basic. Okay, Tanner, what?
Yeah. Was Elder Scrolls Online them? Did they do that?
Indirectly.
Yeah, indirectly.
I mean, it wasn't the same. Like, it's
It's
not
not
the
the
people
company.
who made
Yeah.
Skyrim, but
Okay.
it's like
Do people still
Like-
play that?
Yeah.
There's like a parent company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
So this is Bethesda themselves.
Yeah.
First.
So
Yeah,
they
this
have
was-
no idea how multiplayer works. So, I mean, they haven't made a multiplayer game themselves. So, you either, in my way of thinking, is like, I'd rather them go to an extreme to learn than to try to play it really safe. Because if they try to do this one thing and then screw up horribly, it's gonna be worse. Because it's like a weird mixture. While the other one is gonna be, they could. There's a lot more wiggle room.
I feel like they
So-
could. Oh, I'm sorry.
If we were to see this from the opposite side, what somebody who doesn't like Fallout 76 would probably say about this comment is like, well, if it's an experiment, it's not a $60. It shouldn't be a $60 title.
Yeah.
And for some people that's true, because a lot of the Bethesda fans that were like, that have played all the Fallouts and are hardcore fans of Bethesda and Fallout series, they are used to single-player games. They're used to single-player experiences. Me being someone who was a fan of the Fallout universe, but not like a diehard one, but really a fan of like multiplayer online kind of survival games, I think I have gotten $60 worth of Fallout 76 already, personally. Because I've had a lot of fun with friends. And some people might say like, oh well, it's a Sea of Thieves thing, where they've just kind of put a world and they don't have anything in it and they expect you to make fun with friends. I kind of disagree, because I know there's a lot of people that actually have had a lot of fun in single player too, and there is a big world there with a lot of shit to explore. I'm like level 70 something now, 74-ish in the game, and I still haven't explored the entire map. I've explored maybe 70% of it, I'd say.
Also, for some reason, I feel, even though there's not like human NPCs in the game, I feel like the world is more alive. Because in the game, it's kind of strange, because in the other games, all the buildings are broken down, unusable. Well, in this game, if you activate like a power plant, everything will start moving, or like there's a nuclear nuclear like power area, and if you activate it and put power to it, like the silos will start smoking. So to me, it just feels like the world's more.
The atmosphere and the ambiance is solid, in my opinion.
I have a question.
Yeah. Go for it.
What's the radio like?
The radio?
Yeah.
There's a classical radio, and then there's the Appalachia radio.
There's I haven't actually listened to a lot of the radio, but I know that there are pretty much, you can just listen to songs from, like, it's kind of a culmination of all the other Fallout games, what songs they put in there.
With a couple new ones.
There's a bunch of different stations. I don't know what the deal is lore-wise on them, but I think a lot of people like complain about, oh, well, the Brotherhood of Steel's in this, that doesn't make any sense, there's, a lot of canon stuff. I just kind of think of the game as not being canon, and then it's fun.
Yes.
It makes
And
the
also-
most sense
It's not-
to
it's
me.
not-
And then another thing is,
Meant to be.
another thing about the whole faction thing is that people are just like, well, they're all dead. How are you supposed to make a faction if they're all dead? Well, in my opinion, if you're making a multiplayer game and you're going to add factions to it, which I remember correctly, they were going to add them in, that you kind of have. They may be all dead, but a lot of the way you activate or go into the things is through holotapes and the computers that you can activate.
There is definitely lore in the game.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, like, there's no lore. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass to find. I will say, listening to holotapes over and over again.
But then that just
can
means
get
they obviously
a little
had
bit
never
clearer.
done the enclave quests.
But there's a bit of a misconception going around that there are no NPCs in the game, and that's not true at all. There are NPCs. They are robots. However, there are robot NPCs. There's a wandering super mutant who you can trade with.
Mm-hmm.
There's an entire quest line. I'll try not to spoil anything. Based around. Alright, minor spoiler alert. There is a quest line based around a bunch of robots, essentially, that have taken over some secret government responsibilities, essentially, and it leads to how you can launch nukes, basically. That's a really interesting quest line. And there's robots that, there's specifically a robot that you talk to that leads you through, like, the whole thing. And there's a very, like, alive world, it feels like, there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of cool lore. But it can sometimes be a little bit more difficult to find in, like, the world.
I feel like a reason people are kind of... I feel like Bethesda didn't really advertise the game very well. I
Yeah.
feel like they made it too grandiose. I feel like if they came out right out of the gates being like, hey, this is a very similar game to Fallout 4, but like we're adding all this new stuff to it. Like we're adding all this multiplayer stuff.
But also, to be fair though, everyone who looked at Fallout 76 was expecting a brand new game, brand new everything. You can't go into, like, it's a completely different game. You can't go into it expecting certain things that, I don't know, it's just like...
I mean, it's Fallout.
They go into it with all these grand endures that, like, oh, it's gonna have new this, new that, new everything of this. But then they get into it and they're like, oh, it's just like the old game. I don't like it.
It's a bit of the No Man's Sky deal. People like to hype themselves up for games. And like with No Man's Sky, everybody, and this was a lot of the developers' fault too for not actually explaining anything about the game,
Yeah.
No Man's Sky, when it released. Supposedly it's better now, but
It is.
we'll go into that later. Fallout 76, a lot of people were, people just wanted another Fallout game. Bethesda fans wanted like Fallout 6, Fallout 5 even, whatever the name is. But I've had a lot of really like fun experiences in it. And recently, actually, just yesterday I was playing, and the whole no human NPCs, it really does make player-to-player interaction feel a lot more genuine and, like, meaningful. And anyone that's worried about griefing should not be really worried about griefing, because everybody that plays this game, everybody that I've interacted with, except for maybe, like, one encounter, has been
Happy
super friendly, like, willing to trade, willing to just, like, group together and kill some rad shit, irradiated stuff.
Like, me and James launched a nuke at a, what is it called, Fisher Site Alpha, and it spawns the, what is it, the Scorch Beast Queen.
Yeah.
And it sends out a worldwide message saying this is where they're nuking, and, like, who's nuking and how long you have to get out of the area. It's like, a bunch of players don't have to, it's like, it's not a thing where they have to go do it. But, like, when me and James launched a nuke and it happened and the Scorch Beast spawned, there was, like, 6 people who just came up and started helping us fight it.
That was a really fun experience. It was a really difficult encounter that we lost, even with, like, half the server there.
Yeah. But it's like, the whole thing is, like, they didn't have to, and they could have, a lot of them could have easily just shot us instead.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think there was a wanted guy who came in for a little while, and people didn't,
Well, he accidentally shot one of us or something, and then he became wanted.
Somehow, he shot somebody's camp or
but
something. But
even though he's wanted, all of us has kind of ignored him. And he was helping us. I don't think he was even know that he was wanted. Probably
not.
But, like, there was 2 70s with power armor, straight up power armor, that could have easily just killed me.
There were the community is very friendly, from what I've experienced. And, yeah, the other day I went and found a group of people who were playing together, and I basically pretended to be like a traveling merchant. I went up to their house, talked to them in-game, and was like, "You want to buy some wares?"
Was this the guy that you were screaming that you got to buy adhesives for? That you sold adhesives to? Like a drug dealer?
No, those weren't the same people. That was another guy.
Yeah, James is in call, and he's like, "I'm selling adhesives to this guy."
I kind of try. I was curious to see if I could make, like, a living being, like, a wandering merchant and just going to players and see, like, if I could, like, start this kind of in-game economy.
Yeah.
And that was actually really fun. I had a lot of fun interactions with people. I helped some people fight some enemies, and then was like, "Hey, you want to trade since I helped you kill that thing?" They were like, "Yeah, sure." And cool thing is, I got, like, there's plans you can get in the world to make certain weapons, and if you want a specific weapon, it's sometimes hard to pinpoint a location, like, for it. So, and it's also difficult to get, like, plans for it as well. So if I got this plan to make a Tesla rifle, which was pretty big because I was able to I can just make Tesla rifles at different level requirements and things. So I just made, like, 2 or 3 Tesla rifles and would go around to people and be like, "Hey, you want a really cool gun that you probably don't have?" And people are like, "Yeah, I've never seen that before, like, I want it." And then they'll buy it off you because you can make it, and now you have a little trade market, and that was really cool. But yeah, that was me playing solo too. I wasn't playing with any of my friends. I was just going to random people and talking to them and trading and stuff, and that was fun. And there's a lot of I think there's a lot of fun there if you're the kind of person who isn't really into multiplayer games. Or who doesn't have a group of friends who want to get into Fallout 76 and play it, you may not enjoy the title. You probably won't get $60 worth out of it. But if you're a fan of Bethesda, and if you're a fan of multiplayer games, I would say Fallout 76 is worth it. If not the game, it is for the long-term investments for the company to, kind of show them that multiplayer is a thing that people want and people can be happy with if they get it. That's my opinion on Fallout 76. There you go. Mm-hmm. Here's my rant.
I have it for PC and Xbox.
Yeah?
I have not played it on Xbox yet, but I'm hoping that they introduce, like, cross-platform at least between PC and Xbox servers, because they can do that. I know they can't with PlayStation because they like to keep their stuff closed.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun, and it would make things easier for some people that don't have, like, gaming PCs or just like to play Xbox better.
To interact with more of the community, yeah.
But I really like the story. I was kind of, like, a lot of people that complain about it online and stuff haven't really either played the game or looked for the things that they're complaining about. They just hop in and like, "Oh, well, I don't like this."
I think it's very much a bandwagon situation. for a lot of people. There are the grounds that a lot of the complaints are based on are like they have valid points. But a lot of people are jumping on and just saying like, well, everybody else is shitting
The
on this
hate
game.
train.
There's a lot of YouTube videos out that are like, oh, this Fallout 76 is garbage, and they're kind of just
Here's
like,
why.
view scumming, essentially, saying the same things as other videos that have gotten a lot of views, and they get views for it because, you know,
It's
everybody's
like-
in the bandwagon.
It's like after The Last Jedi came out, all those videos that are like, The Last Jedi is the worst thing to ever touch movie
Yeah.
screens.
Yeah. It's exactly like that, yeah.
When you accidentally touch one political video, it destroys. All right, so that was really interesting. It was a good talk about 76.
Yeah, that's the opinion of ravings of a madman. The opinion of somebody who enjoys the game.
Okay.
Since there's a lot of opinions of people who don't enjoy the game out there.
Yeah, also,
So
I really like the game. And also, another thing is, the main story, sure, it might be a fun thing, but for me, in the other Fallout games, I love the other Fallout games. I'm just gonna set that as a base. But I always felt like if there was a story quest, I felt like I had to do it. Like, I had to do it. So then I was like, kind of like, in my mind, I felt like I was forced to go do it, which means I couldn't do these other things, because if I do this, it cuts off that kind of thing. So, but in this game, since there's not like a heavy main story quest, I was literally able to just come out of the vault and then just go wherever I want.
it truly is an open world.
Yeah, it lets you focus more on the exploring than like...
Yeah. You can really just
So I've
go anywhere.
synced probably
You don't even
more
have to do the
hours.
first quest.
To be honest, I think I've probably synced more hours into 76 than I have Fallout 4. And that was my big Fallout game, was Fallout 4 on the PC.
Yeah.
The last one that I really got into was New Vegas.
And also, let's not forget, this is a multiplayer online game, so Bethesda is going to be updating it constantly.
They should have pulled a PUBG and
If
just
they're smart.
had it be a beta that you could play.
There was a beta.
Well, no, like pulled a PUBG and like, oh, it's still under development, but you can buy it.
Oh.
PUBG
But
was
then
just
that would-
barely got out of
But
that.
then
Yeah.
the only issue with that is also give the other people who said it's not a normal Fallout game, oh, if it's a beta, then why am I paying $60 for it? Then they wouldn't buy it.
Well, then they don't buy it.
Yeah, just wait till it comes out.
Because that would allow them to work out a lot of people's complaints of like, oh, well, it's really buggy. Like,
But to be honest,
legitimate
I mean, a
complaints of those things, most people kind of look over that when it's
Yeah.
advertised as like a work in progress.
I see your point, but at the same time, like, there's a lot of game developers out there who do just use the early access or the
As a-
beta label as like a reason or an excuse to have bugs
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. Like, it's if Bethesda treats it as a fully released game, they'll be more inclined to fix
Yeah.
problems, fix bugs,
And
things
also,
like
Bethesda, they say, like, a bunch of people, like one of our friends, Brian, he likes to say, like, oh, they did the No Man's Sky thing and advertised it wrong. I honestly don't believe that as much as No Man's Sky did. In my opinion, I think No Man's Sky did it a whole lot worse.
No Man's Sky was definitely worse.
It doesn't
yeah.
do it worse than No Man's Sky, but I do think they did advertise it wrong.
They
Well, like, I mean, to a certain point, maybe, but I mean, like, but Brian is one of those people who sees reviews and then kind of jumps onto the review bandwagon. I've noticed,
they
especially with this game.
Yeah, they're the way they market it. I mean, it's difficult because if you market a game and you go in and you say, like, from a financial standpoint, if you're a game developer and you go in and you say, like, hey guys, we're gonna release this game. It's gonna be kind of experimental. We don't really know what we're doing. We've never done this before. Like, it kind of doesn't give anybody incentive to buy it. And although it may, like, trick people, like some people that may, like, think they know what they're doing into buying it or whatever, whether that's the case or not, I mean, it is effective. And that's unfortunate, but it is, like, it's how it works, I guess.
See, why?
Sucks.
Like, I was one of those people that was like, when the beta was coming out, or like when James was playing the beta, I was like, I don't see the point of playing the beta, because I knew from what I've seen that it was just another, like, it played and felt like Fallout 4. So it was like, I went into it fully knowing what it was going to feel like. So that kind of allowed me to be like, okay, so that kind of allowed me to more focus on what I could do instead of, like, focus on the horrible parts of it, I guess.
I'd like to segue to a game that is perfect. Red Dead Redemption 2.
I still
This
haven't
is a
bought
game
it.
only you have played.
And
As Taylor, have you played?
I mean,
some?
I played it 2 seconds at his uncle's house.
I haven't played Red Dead. Yeah.
What did you think of what you played, Taylor?
It was amazing, and I'm still in the beginning like snow sequence.
Snow sequence, which lasts forever.
Yeah, I'm like an hour into the game and I'm still there, but it's awesome. I love the mechanics of shooting.
It's pretty much the GTA mechanics, but with Deadeye.
Yeah, and it's a lot more refined compared to the first Red Dead.
Yeah.
And I don't know, a lot of people complain that it's, well, not a lot, but I've seen complaints of, oh, it's too slow. Like, I don't like how long it takes to do everything.
It takes a long time to loot bodies, but
it's more realistic and it's kind of calming.
For immersion.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of
really
streamers, like, they're playing it and then they're like, oh, these controls are so janky.
No.
Like, that's what I've seen, but it's like, they obviously haven't played any of the others because it's like the same thing.
The only gripe I would have with it is the pain in the acidness of fast travel. Is like, the game does have fast travel, but it's very limited. You only unlock it like a few hours into the game. You unlock it, and it's very limited. You just like go up to a board in your main campground, and it's a one-way trip. It fast travels you there, but then to get back, you have to horse your way back. Or like, the game does have like stagecoaches, but they cost a ton of money, and like it'll take you somewhere, and you can also get on a railroad track.
I mean, that kind of makes sense because they're like, they want you to enjoy the world.
Do you generally use fast travel in games like that?
No,
I
haven't been using it.
I don't.
It's almost more trouble to use it.
Yeah, like the only game that I've been using fast travel recently is Spider-Man, and it's because I'm done with the game. I'm just picking up the last little bit, but I generally never do, just because it kind of breaks
Immersion.
the immersion, and it's fun to like walk around and see what everybody's worked on, and like, oh wow, there's so much detail.
Because if you always use fast travel, you might miss like a small little citizen interaction that you probably would have never seen or something.
Yeah, that's probably wise on them to make fast travel a little bit like difficult, because they've made this like giant fucking world that is incredible, and it would suck for people to just be fast traveling through
because then it'd just be like completely ruin the
dynamic
like
encounters.
Yeah, there is an argument, but I think after you get like through a certain way, like how in WoW you would have to be like level 60 before you could fly around.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing, where like you're 75% of the way through, you unlock fast travel. That would be good, because at that point in the game, you've unlocked so much of the map, and it's a huge map, but you're still having to travel around by horse, so it takes forever, or like carriage, and it still takes forever. But yeah, that's the only bad thing about it. But otherwise, it's amazing. It's really fun.
You know, I haven't played it yet, but I saw a GIF of a horse falling over into mud.
Sorry, wait, you saw some peanut butter?
Oh god.
No, I will not do this. We will move on.
Okay.
I saw a series of images following each other.
An animated picture
Where a horse fell. A video without sound. Where a horse fell into mud with the dude, and he got up, and the horse mark was still there. I was like, this is game of the year.
Yeah. There's tons of little stuff like that, like the tiny details.
I love little details like that.
It's pretty nuts what Rockstar has managed to do with that.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that I've done that I don't like, but it's just all video games have this one problem, where it's super easy to do something you don't mean to do because you press a button when you're too close
like
to something
accidentally
else.
shoot someone
This
or punch them.
is my one complaint about any Rockstar game. GTA 5 is always been I love like their games, but the one thing that I dislike and that kind of gets on my nerves occasionally is their user interface.
Yeah.
And that's they always bind the same like different actions to the same button, and they do all kinds of weird things to interact with stuff. It's the one thing that I think they could do better on.
It's for like efficiency.
It's a minor complaint.
Yeah.
It's a minor complaint. All things considered.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I lied. I have 2 complaints. The wanted mechanics are ridiculous. Like you will you'll be riding through town on your horse just trying to get somewhere. And like some guy walks out in the middle of the street and you hit him. Because of course you do. You're like spamming the run button on the horse.
The whole ass button.
The whole ass button. And this guy walks out in the middle of the field and of course you trample him. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, wanted, manslaughter. And you're like, fuck. And it's like, alright, you gotta go you literally have to go to the post office and pay like upwards of $300 for a bounty. And like,
does it ever go away?
No.
Does it go away naturally?
No.
Okay.
You will stop being chased, but like if you go back into town, they'll be like, "Oh, you're that guy who
Criminal.
did that."
They roll out tanks.
Yeah, they do. Eventually, the SWAT team comes in. It's bad.
Man, that Western
armored
SWAT.
horses.
Man, that SWAT team in the Western times.
They have boats with guns.
Just imagining it.
Gunboats.
I'm just imagining a guy running up with like pots and pans, like I'm here for the war.
Cuisine Royale?
Oh my god. We're not even gonna talk about that.
So, Smitty, what have you been playing?
All of the games. I got a PS4 Pro, and because I bought it for my uncle, so he's let me play all his games.
Fancy.
Been playing the shit out of Spider-Man. Like,
How's that?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Honestly, if like I would consider buying a PlayStation for that game.
It looks
Because
awesome.
it's that good. And then there's a whole bunch of really good games on PlayStation 2, or also PlayStation 4.
Yeah, PlayStation 2
is that was a great console.
Speaking of
Ratchet and
PlayStation,
Clank, man, that was my
Oh,
favorite.
good.
speaking
shit,
of PlayStation, did any of you guys play Medieval?
They're remaking it. Yes, I'm very excited.
No.
Never played the
That sounds
original.
familiar.
I'm not actually aware of what the game is.
It's like an action platformer, right?
I mean, yes and no. Am I allowed to show a video to you guys?
It's easier. It's a pretty easy game to explain.
We'll show it later.
So you got this like skeleton dude.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, please
sorry.
explain. Yeah.
So the character is named Sir Reginald Fortitude.
Okay.
Yeah, and his whole thing is he was a knight in the military,
Yeah.
and he was knighted by the king. He's a knight, and then in battle he fell, and he's a skeleton because he got raised from the dead. Kind of, it doesn't really explain it was a PS2 game.
Gotcha.
You literally just wake up in a crypt and you're like, oh, I'm a skeleton with one eye now.
It's PS1 name, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no.
It was PlayStation 2.
No, it was PlayStation. I looked it up.
And not including the PlayStation Classic coming up. That's the only reason I know.
Oh,
Interesting.
well, never mind.
PlayStation.
Well, whatever. I remember playing it on PlayStation 2.
Well, I mean, PlayStation 2 plays PS1 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue.
Yep, go on.
Okay. Well, either way, that's probably what happened then.
Yeah.
Okay. And your whole thing is, you literally walk out of your crypt and there's an evil wizard, like Necromancer, who's summoning like zombies and things, and your whole goal is to defeat him.
Right.
So you're just running through these areas, like they're actually decent sized areas with traps, puzzles, and
So
stuff.
that's the main like plot point of the game. It's not like your first quest is kill the wizard. It's like
like the main.
what you're trying to do in the game is kill this damn wizard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, gotcha.
And you'll go through these levels, and then like out of the ground, coffins will pop up, and like zombies will come out. It's a really shitty looking game.
Okay.
But it was great.
So it's like an action.
It's like a hack and slash platformer.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds interesting.
And so I am excited for the remake.
Is it on PS4?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So it shows side by side comparisons. There's a huge difference, obviously, but it's like
They really haven't touched the graphics here.
but I mean, but it's like from the level design from the old one to the new one, the only difference I could probably say from like level wise would be graphics. They pretty much copied the level design like almost perfectly from the few clips I've seen.
Okay.
And I was like, and it's the exact same thing with Smitty's game, Spyro.
Yeah.
They
Are they remaking Spyro?
They-
Alright,
Yeah.
released
they remade all 3 Spyro
first 3
games
Spyro games.
You mean
All
like
three of the best
remastered?
ones.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
know how the Crash
for
trilogy
PS4.
was?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a PS4 because those games.
Well, it's on all consoles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, not Switch yet, but
there's a
On
Switch for
PC?
development.
it's not on PC.
Okay.
it's
Well,
called
I'm
the.
gonna buy a PS4.
Isn't it called the Spyro trilogy or
The
something?
Reignited trilogy.
The Reignited trilogy.
Yeah.
Huh.
I would also.
and it comes with all 3 games. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it's almost the same as the Crash trilogy, which was also just so good.
Yes.
And speaking of upcoming games, freaking Smash Brothers Ultimate
Oh my
in
God.
13 days. The soundtrack leaked. It is the soundtrack of over 1,200 songs.
Yep.
Wow.
And they're gonna add some more.
Yes, it's so hype. Literally, this $60 album comes with a fighting game.
Also, how many characters are there in there?
There are now 78.
Feels like yesterday since the last Smash game.
It really does.
It's 78, and they're gonna still add more.
Yeah, it's still 5 more, not including Piranha Plant.
I am buying a Switch for Smash Brothers.
I'm very excited. Nah.
Gotta find the money.
This thing is sitting here waiting for the day.
I'm excited, yeah. I'm really hyped.
I have another
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption 2 thing.
Yeah, tell me what's up.
Another positive of it is like the world feels very alive.
Yeah.
When you're like just riding through it and like when you're in the town and stuff. Nice. Like almost to a fault sometimes. Like you know in GTA, if you ever played the single player in GTA, you would be driving along and there would be these little dots that popped up sometimes on the side that would be like people like, hey, can you stop and give me a ride?
Like little side missions.
Right.
Yeah.
Like even
Immersive world elements.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's like you'll encounter one of those almost every time you go anywhere in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
And one time I was like on my way to a mission and like I was heading that direction and on the way this person was like, "Hey, can you give me a ride? My horse died." And I was like, "Fine." So I was like, "Get on my horse, I'll take you where you need to go." And then they wanted to go the exact opposite direction, like back to the town I just came from. And I was like, and that made me lose my waypoint for the mission that I was currently on. So I was like, what? Like, what do I do? I need to. So I got off my horse.
And shot her.
And I took my horse into the woods. So, okay, you actually need to do that because, like, if somebody rides past, they'll like see that you killed somebody. Oh, that's where this story's going, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
No way.
They'll see that you killed somebody, and like you'll get a bounty from that.
Right.
Just by them seeing you next to a dead body, they'll be like, ah,
Right.
bounty on you. So like I went into the woods, got off my horse, and then just shot the person, and then got back on my horse. I had the right mission waypoint, and I was like, all right, good to go.
Is there like a completion level, like certain areas you have to do, like there's this certain amount of number of things to do, or it's just
No.
God, I'm gonna put so many hours in Red Dead.
So it doesn't track like how completed you are with like.
It gives you it gives you a percentage of how much of the story you've done.
Okay.
So like it'll say 100%, but that'll just mean you've done all the main story.
Main
missions.
story. Gotcha.
That sucks for me. I do all of every single side reading that I run across.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do
it'll
that.
take you forever.
And speaking of Red Dead, when does the online come out?
It's in beta now, isn't it?
I think it
PS4?
comes out close to the same day as Smash.
Doesn't?
I think so.
That'll be a fun week. PUBG PS4 comes out on the same day as Smash.
Oh, jeez.
Look out!
Oh
So
no,
much
it's
competition.
competition now.
I saw a photo. It was like, Sony, he'll kill us all. It was like, or die trying. What is this?
Don't question it.
Anywho.
Don't question me.
Okay. Are there any other games you guys have been playing recently?
The Pokemon Let's Go.
Let's go.
I really want it.
It's okay.
Pokemon Let's Go?
I haven't bought it. My friend's bought it. I've played with him a while on it. It's like super casual Pokemon. So like if you've been out of the series for a while, it's a good way to get back into it. It's very easy. It's not.
Is it like just a traditional Pokemon game?
No, it's a spin-off. But it's also so it's a remake of the first game, but with Pokemon Go elements.
Doesn't it like
you know, the
sync
mobile
with your
game
account and
Yeah,
stuff?
you just sync with your account, you send Pokemans that you got on your phone onto
So it's all about like walking around and
it's about walking it's not necessarily about walking around, but like you know on the phone where you flip your thing to catch it.
Gotcha.
You gotta toss it to catch it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no more wild encounters. You see what you run into.
Okay.
They're on the screen, so you're like, I don't want that boy. So you get away from them. Which I actually really like.
Yeah.
It really makes like random encounters feel outdated, kinda.
Also, I really hate it just like walking through the grass and you're just like, is it something good? No, it's a fucking Rattata.
Yeah, you know.
Don't fucking fighting all these goddamn Weedles. I got the feeling, yeah.
It's fun. It's very cute. They did a really good job of making Pikachu and Eevee fucking adorable.
Eevee, yes.
There's like they go weirdly into the lore because like this is like an alternate dimension apparently. And they go into that a little bit.
Okay.
Pikachu.
They did fun. Oh, that movie. Holy.
Are you excited or scared for Detective Pikachu?
You know what? It's the movie I've wanted since I was 5. Like literally, like what
with Ryan Reynolds and everything.
What if Pokermans was real? And that's the movie. And it looks just edgy enough where it'll be like, it's not like.
Just enough Marvel humor.
Yeah, just not. It's PG-13. I learned today, so that's yeah. So Pikachu gets one fuck.
He gets fuck one
They
time.
didn't say fuck one time. They didn't say fuck once.
There could be like mild boobage.
There could be
some Pikachu tits.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
I don't want to see it anymore.
It was like a lot of fun, honestly. I was very off on the redesigns they made. But looking back on it, I don't know what else they could do. Because, like, you can't just make them the anime things, or they just look like the Smurfs movie, or, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And you can't make them look too realistic, because then they're horrifying.
Then that's a horror movie.
Yeah, so then you hit right in the middle, and you get this weird, like... It's kind of off-putting, like, seeing Psyduck with, like, real duck texture. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Or, like, Pikachu's fuzzy now, which would make sense. Because he's like a mouse.
Yeah. My favorite trailer, or my favorite scene from the trailer is when Pikachu and he's interrogating Mr. Mime, and he just runs into the wall, he's like, what the?
That's great. No, I love it. I love also, they're not like, I expected if this happened, it would be like Gen 1 the whole way. It would be like, you know, we got 5 Pokemon in the movie, it's Pikachu, Charizard, and Blastoise, and fucking, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but they got some weird ones in there. I had to look up one of them because I just forgot.
Really?
There's Morlul.
Morlul?
Morlul.
With your knowledge of Pokemon, I'm surprised.
That's a newer one. I haven't played the newer ones.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Morlul. So they have everything really, which is I kind of really love it. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but I just hope it's fun.
I think it has potential to be. I mean, considering it's a live-action Pokemon movie,
yeah,
I think the trailer like has made me semi-excited for it.
Yeah,
Something which I never would have thought I would have been excited for, a live-action Pokemon movie.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I
think it could be good.
I was so worried what they would do, and that's what they're doing. There's also a Sonic movie coming out next year, and they're doing this shit. I know, right?
What?
So basically, the whole thing with these movies, like you get something like the Smurfs or like Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's these characters, and they don't know how to make them real. So they just show up in their cartoon form, in the real world.
Interesting.
So that's I don't know if y'all have ever watched. I've watched Smurfs with my little brother, and it's because they don't know what to do. They can't make a movie about like Smurfs or whatever.
Real little blue people.
Yeah, so they ship them in like, what if the Smurfs were in New York? And I was so worried they would do that. Be like, what if Pikachu was in like Los Angeles and he's the only Pokemon, and he has to solve a murder.
Yeah.
Kind of like that weird movie, like it was like Disney, like Enchanted, where like princess got put into the real world.
I know what movie you're talking about. I've seen that like
Was it
7
Enchanted?
times. No.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Enchantment
Enchantment or something.
Yeah.
That was it was self-aware though. I kind of liked it.
Well, I get it, but that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm glad they actually took the creative liberties to be like, nah, this is in Pokerman's world, and like now they did to be creative with it. Have y'all seen any trailers that you're excited for?
Not really, not too much. Then again, I'm not like a super big movie person.
Have you also-
Consider me uncultured.
Have you seen the Shazam trailer?
Oh.
No.
This last time.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a good trailer.
Oh yeah, we did.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse looks like so much
Yes.
fun.
Spider Pig's in there.
Spider-Ham, yeah. We got Anime Spider-Girl. And yeah, it'll be fun. Will?
Well, you're really sticking to this.
I was very impressed, honestly.
No, I love whenever we all like stop talking, the fridge doesn't get louder. You just suddenly are
You
able
suddenly
to
notice it? Okay, yeah, I hear that.
I hope the mic picks it up.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
But yeah, Spider-Man. Oh shit.
Just the fridge noise is very funny to me.
That's funny. Okay.
What about Spider-Man?
It looks so good, and that's basically all I have to say. It looks. I love the animation style.
And they have like the different styles too.
Yeah, and this is the first time
Shared.
freaking Nicolas Cage is playing Spider-Noir.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
John Mulaney is Spider-Ham. It's a great cast. I love it so much.
I love movies that aren't gonna like necessarily be huge,
Yeah.
that have good voice actors.
I really hope the finale of that movie is literally just fucking the hundreds of Spider-Man variants coming in at the end. Because there's just so many Spider-Men.
Spider-Mans.
There's too many Spider-Men.
Yeah, as the Spider-Man game can show.
That's what that
really
movie should
changed,
be
like,
called.
shit.
Too many.
Too many Spider-Men. So here's a movie with them. We got too many
We
of
got
these
every
boys.
single actor who's ever played Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh god. Man, shout out to the Amazing Spider-Man. Rest in peace, man.
Pizza time.
Pizza. No, that was after
I know.
Pizza.
I know.
Okay.
Pizza time.
There's nobody can ever quote those movies.
Go get 'em, Tiger.
Was that in that movie?
That was in
all of them.
the original.
Toby.
That was in the Tobies.
The
That was Toby era.
Toby. era.
Toby.
Toby.
Tobies.
So, are we done?
I mean,
I don't know. There were movies.
yeah. Y'all done any like
Sports.
sports?
Oh yeah,
Sports. Okay. West Virginia. They lost. To Oklahoma.
Good job.
All right.
Okay. Whew, that was a long sports segment.
I know.
Oh, man.
Gosh, I'm sorry if I got a little bit.
I don't know. That
I'm
might
sorry if I nerded out.
We'll
a
have to
bit.
cut some of that out.
Yeah.
I said a whole
Editing there.
2 names there. That's
Way too much.
that's twice the amount of sports names I usually
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
100% increase.
Okay.
Okay.
Any life stories? It's been a whole semester of college for you college boys. Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Acid
No, I
guy.
still haven't ran into the acid guy yet. I almost wish. Not for acid, just for the see what he's doing.
Just for the experience.
Just to shake that boy's hand.
Well, this has been the
This has
Fifth
been
ESM
the end of the
podcast.
I
sure
have.
It's been the end. It's the end.
The end?
We're done. Like it's
Are we?
over. Yeah.
Really?
Like yeah.
Yeah?
It's the end.
I mean, after this,
after there's nothing else.
there's no returning.
If you made it all the way through, congratulations.
You've earned
Put a comment in and tell how many brain cells you lost. Yep.
Yeah.
If you're watching it, like and subscribe. We don't really care. I'm dreaming of a podcast outro, just like the ones I used to know.